So you guys go
tag
on
us?
and, sorry, say that again?
Did you tag us?
Okay, I'm gonna go in and try to tag everyone. All right, so just give me a second here.
Find you here. Yes, I can see us.
Awesome. And let me go into my Facebook and try to tag everyone. Everyone's gonna watch this today. We're pretty excited. And if you're watching us live on Facebook, just put something in the comments. Say hi in the comments and let's know you can see us. Let's know you're watching this, and so that we can kind of get feedback. It's crazy with tech stuff, so let's see. And the fun part of being live today is also that you get to ask any questions. You get to ask these three awesome human beings any questions, which is very exciting too. Okay. All right, so I just shared that on my timeline. Awesome, guys. Yep, I see all that going on. Awesome, awesome. There you go.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Okay, perfect. Then, yeah, let's get started. All right, so today's digital marketing and marketing automation with three amazing professionals that I trust their expertise, and I know that these guys are awesome. And they're just bringing their knowledge to help us during this time of crisis, pandemic, and just call it whatever. There's been so many names that we call it already, we don't even know. And that tells you how much nobody has a map of what this is like, what this is going to be, and what we should be doing right now. So we're just bringing our minds together to brainstorm together on what we should be doing as business professionals for our businesses at this time. Should we be marketing? If we are going to be marketing, how should we be marketing? What should we be saying? And especially because at this time, everyone is kind of online. Nobody is able to go anywhere. Business transaction as we know it is changing. The workplace and all that stuff as we know it is changing. And so is marketing as we know it. Before now, many people didn't jump on the social media marketing, digital marketing bandwagon because, oh, there were so many people there and it was all networking. And now the networking is also changing and everything is becoming quite digital. And I feel like this trend is going to continue for the foreseeable future. It looks like we're kind of living our future right now. So, and which is pretty exciting, guys. So today I'm going to be talking to Daniela, Spencer, and Humphrey. So let's start with Daniela. Daniela is originally a journalist with a bachelor's degree in communications and a postgraduate degree in marketing, business management, and people management. That's like really awesome together. For the past 13 years, she has worked as a reporter, chief editor, photographer, designer, PR, brand strategist, just all in one. And in 2016, she published her first book called Build Your Brand, the 10 essential steps before launching your business. She absolutely loves her work, and I know that I can attest to that. And you can never get bored working with creative minds. She feels like what she does for her clients at Kia is pretty special. Welcome, Daniela. How are you?
Thank you, Caroline. I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me today.
Good, thank you. You're welcome, Daniela. And then I'll introduce Humphrey next. Humphrey is the owner of Juga Marketing. Humphrey is a marketing automation specialist. I hope I can say that, Humphrey, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, good. So since 2008, Humphrey has been a leader in the new standard of how we do business. With a proven online marketing mix and specially designed web tools, he empowers both small and thriving big businesses to gain ground with and to promote their products to the Asian community. It connects the East and the West easily and effectively. And it says that connecting both can be powerful when you partner with the right guy to get you to the gateway. And he's been a leader in this stand. Yeah, I kind of said that already. I'm kind of repeating myself now. Okay, it says with improving online marketing mix and especially web tools, he empowers big and small businesses as well. So Humphrey, welcome this morning. Oh, it's kind of afternoon. So
thanks for having me, Carolyn.
All right. And Spencer is the owner of Everyday Dreamers Marketing. Is there a marketing behind it? Yep, perfect. Okay. Spencer is an integrated and experienced marketer who creates profitable programs allowing businesses to scale. His approach is his approach to marketing is simple. If you put the right product in front of the right people in the right place, sales tend to happen. He's passionate about building functional solutions to modern problems, and he loves watching ideas become realities. He takes action to do just that every day, and he does things with passion or not at all and take great pride in his work. He's always thinking about the future and always focused on results. Spencer is a social media marketing agency. Is that right, Spencer?
Yep, social media and paid advertisements.
And paid advertisements. Thank you. Good to have you guys.
Yep.
I
Thanks
am
for the
very,
opportunity.
very excited about this today. And there are like a ton of questions, as you guys can imagine. So let's kind of just go around first and just establish the premise here. There's so much going on in the world today. Lots of financial downturns, and most people are not even sure. Some people are not sure where the next income is going to come from. Some people are losing money in the stock market and all that stuff. But businesses need to go on because that's why we do businesses in the first place, right? So the first question I'm going to ask you guys is, should we be marketing right now in this whole pandemic, in all of what's going on right now? Should we be marketing?
I think, can I?
Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead, Danielle.
I think we should absolutely be marketing right now. Some businesses are not able to be open right now. Absolutely, it's not possible for them. So they should be in contact with their clients at this moment to really keep that connection that they have. And then as soon as we go back to normal, the clients will come back as well.
Yeah.
For other clients, there is always a land of opportunity for someone. So imagine right now, if you have a mask business right now, you're completely blooming, or a delivery truck business right now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a land of opportunity for a lot of people right now. So we should all be marketing for one reason or another.
Awesome. Humphrey, Spencer, do you guys have something to add to that?
Yeah, so I'd say the answer to that question is a qualified yes. So it's pretty clear that you have to change your marketing tactics. So I part of, I think, the deliverables here will be wrote a slide deck on that, but the boiled down version of it is that we do believe that there will be an economic downturn. I think that there's an agreement there, and marketing changes in that. There's been plenty of research done there, and the findings are that obviously people will be spending less. So your marketing should not be as focused on direct sales. It should be focused on developing relationships and positioning yourself, being your company, as a provider of expert advice and insightful information, so that given this time that people are cutting marketing budgets and that there's fewer people trying to get their word out, and actually in this unique situation, there's actually more people viewing content online since everybody's there, capturing that market share is a lot easier. And should you capture that market share, you'll be able to position your company as the provider of useful information and the expert in the field to make yourself heard. So the qualified yes there, focus on delivering information and establishing yourself among people.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Spencer. Humphrey, what are your thoughts?
Well, I got a feeling that when you're asking questions to 3 marketing agencies people, of course the answer is going to be yes. But I think the bigger question really is that a lot of people, a lot of small business owners, they think about marketing as only 2 things, right? The first thing is that, you're placing ads. Yes. And then the second thing is that, you're converting people, right? But they're missing the biggest step in the middle, right? So in the whole customer journey is really, you're capturing the leads, you're nurturing them, and then you convert them, right?
That's right.
This is like what Spencer and Daniela was saying, this is really the good time to keep nurturing them, right? Awesome. So I'm seeing, especially from now in the next few months, right? Companies should not really be acquiring new leads, okay? I really think that is the time that you look inward. Every business should look inward and look at their existing customers to see, hey, how can we communicate? And that's also the reason why we're receiving 50 emails each day from CEOs from different companies, right? That's saying that that's what they're doing right now, right? Yeah. So we're small business owners should also be looking into that as well.
Awesome. And that's exactly what I heard once you guys started talking. Most of the times as business owners, we might be equating marketing to sales. It's like marketing, just acquiring the clients and doing work, and that's it. But marketing is not always about sales. marketing is connection. Daniela mentioned that. Spencer also mentioned that, and nurturing the relationship, and also in also like acquiring the market share. And I put that in air quotes. It's not because you're looking to sell right away. It's nurturing the relationship so that once there's a need, and once the need arises, then you become top of mind with your clients, and you're the go-to person. So it's establishing that you care right now, and you're concerned for everyone, your clients, and you want to keep them. You want to keep that relationship going through all the 100 emails that we receive right now. So absolutely, and that's a fantastic idea. And I think if you don't really take anything out of all the conversation that we're having today, it's the one thing that marketing is not always about sales, and there's much more to that. And of course, we're going to go down that path as we continue to talk today about what we should be doing in terms of marketing. But before we go there, I just want you guys from your different perspectives, because you guys are specialists in, you have your own niche. And I just want to hear from you, how much has changed in the last 1.5 months that all of this has begun within your industry? Let's start all over with Humphrey this time.
I think what really changed the most is really the fear, right? So people are afraid that they're not going to get the next rent, and they're going to be able to pay rent for the business, right? They're not going to. They know business is always going to be there, but they just don't know if cash is coming in, right? So that's the biggest obstacle right now. Mm-hmm.
Spencer, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. So right now, businesses are very fearful for what the future cash flow will look like, and they're preemptively cutting expenditures.
Mm-hmm.
Now, marketing is one of the first expenditures that people tend to cut. So that's I'm sure we're all seeing that in our businesses.
Yeah.
Now, that said, again, there are things to be doing, but yeah, there's going to be changes in business moving forward, and that they're going to be trying to do things more internally. We're probably going to see that people are looking to see what's the best bang for buck they can get.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you, Spencer. Daniela, what about you?
So for us, it's been an interesting change. We've had, we work with clients from multiple industries. We've had clients that they had to close, and all they have to do now is wait. But we've had clients that had many new opportunities, especially on the wellness industry. People that were not able to do online appointments.
Right.
So we're very busy right now trying to set up their changing their websites and set up an online platform for them.
Right.
And so these people that they thought that they might be closing down or really cutting down, and they're not, they're expanding, and they're changing the ways and that they are doing business. And we also have clients that are reinventing themselves because they never thought that to go online, and it turns out that they do have opportunities to go there and to work there. So for us, it's been a land of creativity, helping them to reinvent themselves, create new ways to connect with their clients.
Right.
And I would say that most of them are doing really well. So we are very positive on this moment right now, and the changes that we're living right now. As you said in the beginning, we're living the future right now.
Right.
So whoever is able to reinvent themselves should not be afraid to do so. And because everybody's also open to what businesses are doing to reinvent themselves.
Awesome. And Daniela, on that note, you mentioned that right now there are businesses that are thriving just because of the opportunity that this creates. And at the same time, there are businesses that have had to shut down. Like, for example, I have had to close doing actual work, but we're still taking clients and nurturing out clients. But here's the question. In this current crisis, is there an online solution for every business? What do you think?
I don't think so, because, for example, if you talk about a nail salon or a hairdresser, a hairdresser can actually sell like an online course to teach you how to do your hair at home, how to dye your hair at home.
Right.
So that will work. But some businesses, they can teach you how to do your nails at home, but then not sure how many people would buy that. But I would say that, so for some business, they should be looking to other opportunities possibly. But I would say that for most of them, I have clients that they were already doing online things and now they're going full online. So imagine if McDonald's and Starbucks didn't have their apps, or Tim Hortons, they didn't have their apps working. Imagine having to create an app right now. So because they did have that, it makes it much easier for people to order online and then just do the front store pickup. So they are able to keep their businesses open. So whoever was already doing online things and were already open to be online are doing much better right now. But it's not late for people who are not online, and they can be. There is still, because we're going to be like this. It looks like we're going to be like this for a little while still. So there's still time for people to move to online and get creative. I would say most people are able to move to an online platform of some sort.
Awesome. And Spencer, for you, I guess the question would be, is every business able to run paid ads online? Does it make sense for businesses to be running paid ads online right now?
You definitely need to be careful about what type of business you are. So what I like to approach that question with is, so a part of that slide deck I showed, what we do is make a categorization of what type of good you sell and what type of target audience you have. So just to summarize that, there's about 4 different goods you can sell. There's essentials, so those are your foods, your the things that you need, your toilet papers, the things you find at the grocery store. Those you can definitely be selling. You can find paid ads for that. There are treats, for example, things that you don't need, but they're more frivolous spending. So those can be your chocolates, your physical treats, but also your, your bath bombs and such. There's going to be non-essentials such as jewelry and more expensive things that you can you don't actually need for much. And there are things you can defer, for example, new cars. So depending on which product of those you are, the closer you are to an essential thing, the more easily you can be selling them. And as well, if your target audience, if they are in the lower income, they're not going to have any money to spend. So those ads are just going to be, if they get clicked on even, it's unlikely to convert. But if your target audience is more well off, or in fact are looking to take this as an opportunity, then you can do that. So definitely a qualified answer as well. But there are still people who can be selling things. For example, we're working with someone who sells on Amazon. He's in a good spot. He's definitely looking to increase his ad spend. However, a lot of businesses will have more difficulty. So this is the time to be working on those sales funnels, to be figuring out how to dial that in so that when you open up again, you can hit the ground running.
Awesome. And well, Humphrey, with that qualified yes, I'm kind of bringing that to your desk here. How should people be automating their marketing functions right now? Is there a solution across the entire board, like for all types of businesses, or are there businesses that it might work for more than the other? What are your thoughts in this area?
For sure. What I find is that with automation, we work with a lot of coaches as well. So that's when we start putting a lot of automation in, when you're reading or when you're signing up to different webinars, right? We're seeing like 4 or 5 emails coming out of the gate. So definitely we're seeing an uptake in that area. And I just want to actually mention a couple of things too. That's the beauty of being the last one being asked the question. So what I find is that with people who are doing nail salons or hairdresser, don't teach them how to cut the hair. You teach them how to take care of the hair between cuts, right? So don't necessarily teach them the things, the skills or the trait that you do, right? But you try to nurture them, right? Try to build up your credibility by teaching them something that's complementary.
I like that. Yeah, I like that idea. And that kind of applies across board too. Like for almost everyone that's pretty much closed right now. Like for example, even spas that do facials and all that, people are at home. They still need to get some form of self-care done. So how do you filling in all that for people right now? I think there's actually a lot of opportunities in there, right?
For sure. So one thing that I do notice too, though, is that these automated funnels, or this is what we call the automated messaging, right? They need to be a little bit more personal as well, right? It's just taking care of the situation, understanding what kind of product and service that you're selling, right? Okay. Are they like hard sell? They shouldn't be, right? Because like, and funny things too is that I was reading another article this weekend. They're talking about Walmart, talking about that right now we're at the hair color phase of our consumer behavior. So in the first couple of weeks, it's going to be your mask, your toilet paper, but afterwards it's going to be like stockpiling on food, and now it's going to be start stockpiling on like hairdresser, like hair clippers, like you start getting long hair.
Yeah.
So that's kind of funny thing too. So depending on the industry you're in,
that's right,
as well.
Yeah, and what you guys said earlier about nurturing the relationships. I feel like one of the industries, the wellness industry, the hairdressers, all the salons, this past, they're actually going to be seeing a lot of business once this is all over, because people are going to be so shaggy. People are going to look so unkempt that you're going to dash out of your house, and because you don't have skills in hair cutting, right, you're probably messing up with your hair, and you're dashing
They're
out.
gonna create packages, get back on the game package.
I know. So it's a wonderful time to actually be nurturing those relationships, because you want to be the go-to person once all of this is over. And Spencer, to you, now that there's a lot of attention on social media, I mean, like I look up, I don't know if you guys use the iPhone. I use the iPhone and I look at my weekly activity at the end of every week, and it's like, your weekly activity is up by, I'm like, yes, thank you. I know that. I'm online all day. So no, everyone is on the social media, everyone is online, and there's a lot of focus and there's a lot of questions about, should we be focusing on a Facebook group? Should we be focusing on a Facebook page? What's better for businesses right now?
Right. So there's the answer is yes. So you really need to decide which type of community you're looking to build. So the question, I believe, was should a business be implementing a Facebook page or a Facebook group?
Yes.
For the social media. So the primary thing you're looking to answer there is, are you looking to build a community, or are you looking to build a channel to communicate with your audience?
All right.
First of all, and second of all, what is the flow of information that you're looking for out of that? So a Facebook group is a collection of people who are centered around some hobby or interest. Everybody can post in it, and you're the moderator effectively. So what you're looking to do is grow a group of people who are centered around one cause. This is very effective, and there's an upper limit of how much you can get a lot bigger in general from a group, because if you can find a thing that clicks with people, you can grow it quite quickly. That said, you don't have the control over the content as much, because anybody can post. Whereas with a page, there's unidirectional content. So you are the poster, everybody is looking at what you send out. So generally speaking, pages are the way to go for a business, because you are looking to making a channel to distribute to your audience. However, if you are a coach, if you sell a course, if you are able to tap into some interest group that is not well served, you can easily capture a lot of users. A couple more benefits of a group. So generally the answer is a group. Is a page. Okay. There are more tools around groups. There's more tools around pages on Facebook, primarily because Facebook makes more money off of pages. So there's a little bit more tools for the business to use. There is pages SEO better, so you're more findable, and generally it takes less time, because for a group you really need to moderate that heavily, because there's going to be people coming in saying, hey, look at my course, hey, do this. They're looking to leverage your audience, and you do not want that unless they're in your group. So it's going to take more time. There's more finesse to it, but at the end of the day, I'd say the upside is bigger. That said, pages are usually recommended.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Spencer. Humphrey, I was going to come back to you based on some of the things you had talked about in the last question, talking about sales funnel, and you mentioned that. And I feel like we haven't done a good job of establishing what that does. Like, for example, at the beginning, I mentioned that Daniela, for example, builds a website, an amazing website for you that is SEO compliant and has all the good stuff. And you get social media ads, and Spencer does an amazing job at that. But what is marketing automation? Like, how does that play in with, we have social media pages, we have website, how does that come to play, and how does that help, in this period?
Yeah, for sure. It's marketing automation is such a big general field of words. So I feel like, just give you an example too, right? So the best example that I can give is that let's say when you are landing on a website, right, and then all of a sudden you get ads from that website on your Facebook, on your Instagram, right? So that is one type of automation at play, right? This is something that Spencer's probably be doing as well, right? So it's how the back end, right, of the web, by using different tracking to see what the behavior of those website visitors had done. So with the marketing funnel, what it is that you start taking the behavior of the users of the email addresses, and then you can, depending on the behavior, you can start qualifying them a little bit better, right? So that let's say if that person has visited 3 pages of your website, let's say if they have looked through what your product services are, and then they look through what the pricing pages are, and they look through the frequently asked questions type question, and then, for example, that will be a good qualifier to say, oh, this person is ready to move to the next stage, right? So that's when maybe if I'm a small business owner or if I have a sales team, I would make them a call and say, hey, how are you doing? Is there anything I can help you with? Right. So that's the type of application of what automation can do.
Awesome. And there's something you mentioned there, Humphrey, that kind of leads me to Daniela. You talked about, being able to browse through each of the pages and, going through the pages and being able to read it. And I think that's one of the things that we all probably struggle with, engaging clients, even on the website, enough to hold them such that they become interested in what we have there. And then we can move on to the next stage into qualifying them and all that. So Daniela, what are the things that our websites need? What should a website have in a way that ensures that clients are kept engaged and the website is attractive enough for them to, keep browsing on it?
That's a really great question. I was going to say that the sales funnel actually starts on the website or even before, but in my case, on the website. We don't build a website without thinking about the sales funnel. Build a website already thinking about how we're going to lead people to that certain page that we want to see the product page. For example, taking the example Humphrey used. So if you go to the product page, you put the FAQ right there. If you want them to move right. If you have questions, click here and then you go there. Are you ready to buy? Click here. So we already built the website thinking about that. The things that a website needs to have basically are a beautiful design is really important because if you don't look professional, people will be probably afraid to buy from you because like if you're not investing in your website, you probably don't have money in your company. That might imply that your product doesn't have quality. So depending on the business, it's very tricky if you don't have a beautiful looking professional quality website. So beautiful design, content that is interesting, but it also connects well with Google, a content that Google will appreciate and then put you on the top as well. Content that will lead people, content and design combined together that will lead people to the sales funnel, that it's starting right there. And of course, it needs to be mobile friendly, like really drastically. It needs to be able to open in any screen. Some business, we have clients that they still have more people seeing their websites on a desktop, but the majority of our clients, they have more people open them on mobile services. So you have to offer, for example, a really good e-commerce experience, which means that people are able to buy from your cell phone, like super easy, like something that Amazon does greatly. We're able to build a website that will offer a quick experience to buy. And that's super necessary, not only right now, but always. So these are some of the things that a website needs to have to be successful. The more time people spend in your website, the more you will do better on ranking on Google, and that will improve. That's SEO there for you.
Daniela, when you were talking about an aesthetically beautiful website, I remember you go on some websites and it looks like they were built in the 1970s when the internet first arrived.
Sometimes they were.
But so back to you, and then coming to everyone else. Now, what are the most common mistakes that people are making with their websites. Like, for example, leaving their website that was designed in 1970, there even in 2020. So what are the things that you see that are the most common mistakes that we can address right now, or that we should be addressing right now?
We've had clients that they're like, we are so busy that we don't need a website. We have so many people saying that. And the website is your virtual business card. How come you don't need a website? Or how come your website can look sloppy? Because that's like your virtual way of saying how, like a restaurant, this is how you take care of your kitchen. So like, is this how your company as a whole is not really up to date? So the number one is people saying that they don't need a website. Second is I have a Facebook page, so I also don't need a website. Like, so either I don't need a website because I'm already so busy, and can you ever get that busy that you don't need a website? Or I have a Facebook page, so I don't need a website. These are two completely different stories. You cannot customize your Facebook page. You can change the images and you can post the content that you like, but you cannot build a story specific, tailored for you like you can do in a website. So they are completely different things. The other thing is, I don't need a new website because I have this great website that I spent thousands of dollars 10 years ago, but then their website doesn't work on mobile devices. So then you lose points with Google because Google knows that your website is no good for cell phones. And then they're like, no, I'm not going to deliver this web. So you're losing clients and opportunities just because you didn't take the time or the effort or the budget to build a new website. So these are the most common mistakes on businesses.
And I like that you mentioned that some people think that once they have a Facebook page, they don't need websites, because then they are doing it wrong. And Spencer, that brings me to you. What are the like most obvious to you mistakes that people make with their social media when, in this time, and that we could definitely be working on in this time?
Yep, for sure. So in terms of the content that they're posting, people should be focusing on storytelling, adding value, and the customer's perspective. So we're often finding that people just aren't keeping those in mind. So you're not saying how great you are, you're saying how great you'll make their life. You're not saying you can buy from us here. You're saying we can add the value by doing this. You're giving them value without asking for the sale. You're saying, here's this blog post I read. Here's this tool that I found. Here are things that'll make your life easier. Here is what you're trading your attention for. You're improving your life by doing these things. So focus on the customer's perspective and focusing on telling a story on how they can improve their life through interacting with your business. That's on the content side of things. Social media takes time. It can take a little time or it can take a lot of time. You can cut down that time a lot by making a posting calendar. So don't 3 times a week, don't be making a post. Once a month, make a bunch of posts and then copy and paste it from there. Batching tasks. Now this is more of a productivity and automation thing, but batching tasks will definitely produce a more less overall time, no context shifting, you're in the mode. So definitely be creating a calendar and make sure you're measuring everything. So you should be having a Google Sheet. This goes past social media, but you should be having a Google Sheet on your Drive or Excel, whatever. Track every month. Every single month when you make that calendar, copy and paste what the KPIs are. You should be looking at your percent engagement, your gross engagement, your new users, and whatever else you're looking to be measuring. Those should be measured. You should be looking at the growth of that, and you should be adapting your strategy based on that. And one more thing we're noticing is that people, there's different types of posts you can make on social media. You can make engagement posts. So those usually end with, what do you think? Or how has this affected your life? Those are for engagement. You should be having those. You should not be having only those. There are sales posts. You can say, hey, click on this link and you can check out this product. You should be having those. You shouldn't be having only those. There are, hey, check out this blog. So those are the value posts. Most people should be having more of those, but you shouldn't be having only those. Mix those up. So there's sales, there's engagement, and there's value. Have a bit of both for sure. And you can, what you can help yourself with that is when you make the calendar, which you should be doing, give a label to each. Is this a sales post? Is this an engagement post? And look at your breakdown. So definitely those are some things that we're noticing people aren't doing that can disproportionately add value to what they're doing on social media.
So kind of talking about the I'm thinking here, what do you call it? Maybe making a bar chart of what percentage each one should be. Do you have like numbers, like how many sales posts should we be doing? What should be the percentage of sales posts that we are doing? What should be the percentage of the relationship based engagement posts that we're doing? Do you kind of have numbers for those before we come to you, Humphrey?
Yep. Default, we usually go 10 to 20% sales,
Okay.
and 30-40% between both value and engagement. So give a lot of value, get people talking, have a community that you're building. So those are the engagement posts, and try to sell. But it's not like, don't just keep people busy reading your post about what they can buy from you.
Right.
So throw that in there, but disproportionately weight your engagement and your value posts.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Spencer. So Humphrey, now let's talk about mistakes we're making in marketing automation. Just for fun. I think the first mistake we make is we're not even doing it at all. But then what mistake do you see? Like what things do you see that we can start working on in this period? Especially for some business owners, it's just the fact that they're closed right now. So they have a lot of time on their hands that they can use to get things done. So, but take it away, Humphrey.
For sure. First of all, I really think Spencer gave a very, very good, comprehensive, social media things as well. And Caroline, a lot of people don't think that they're doing automation, but a lot of them are actually built in to many of the services. Right? Let's say if you're running a webinar, if you create an event on Eventbrite, right? They always send out a bunch of emails like automated as a reminder and things like that can help businesses, be
I think I'm losing Humphrey there. Let's see. Can anyone else hear him?
He is frozen.
No, he's frozen for me.
Hope you can hear us, Humphrey.
I hope he can hear us, and I hope he's able to come back. So we'll come back to that question. And while we're waiting for Humphrey to come back, let me throw this question to you guys, and kind of what we've talked about here now, talking about what we should be doing in our businesses with our websites and social media. How does that change from small businesses versus big businesses, medium, large businesses? Is there like a difference in how all of that should happen? And even talking about websites, Daniela, is there like a difference in approach between big businesses and small businesses? Let's come back to you, Daniela. And
okay, yes and no. They should, like the websites, they should all follow these things that I just mentioned. Like they should have a nice design, a content that is interesting. On the technical side of things, if you have a lot of traffic, you should be able to be ready for this traffic. So the more your hosting company should have a better quality. If you, for example, if you're intensively working on a sales funnel, if your company is like really big and you have a lot of clients coming in and you have a lot of opportunities, you for sure should focus the website in really nurturing those relationships. Mm-hmm. And for other businesses, maybe you don't have to work on that sales funnel so much. It's a website more about connecting people and taking people to like resources, or just have them like book an appointment with you. So it's more about, there's a difference between services and products versus a big company and a small company. But the basic is that they should all be doing a good design, good and engaging content, and technically they should be ready for a large number of people coming to their websites. But the experience should be good regardless of the size of your business.
Awesome. So Humphrey, thank you for jumping back in. It kind of looked like you first were a little bit there, and then we completely lost you. So we're glad you're back. Let's take a break before we continue on the new questions. Kind of go back to what you were talking about, Humphrey, about mistakes that we are making with marketing automation and what we can be doing about that now.
Yeah, for sure. I was going to say that a lot of business owners actually are doing some sort of automation, whether they know it or not. Right? Let's say, for example, if you're hosting an event on Eventbrite, right, it automatically puts out a reminder series that would help draw people in, right? But one thing that I noticed a lot of business owners are not doing, and something that they can look into it now, is to start looking at the behavior, the website traffic, their own behavior, right? How do their business process works, right? So Google Analytics is probably the best tool to look into right now. Like if you, every single website should have one, right? You should spend some time in it, right? At least look through it once a month, just to see, what kind of effort you're putting in. Are you getting the same results? Right? If you're putting in efforts in Instagram, if you're putting in results in Facebook, is it bringing the right traffic back into your website? Because as automation, when we're creating automations, when we're creating a sales funnel, we actually rely on those type of behavior results to create the right funnel. So as business owners, that's something free that you can work in. Just look through that and see, hey, what area you should be looking in more deeply, rather than looking at the nice bells and whistles and all the tools out there. Right? It's really dig deep into your own business. That's how it starts.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Humphrey. So I'll just debrief you about the question we were talking about before you came back on, so that we can come back to you. What was that question again, guys?
For me, it was a difference between small and bigger businesses for websites.
Okay, I'm suddenly having one brain here, but that's okay. Yeah, so we're talking about how each of what you guys do, how it's different for small businesses, and how it's, if it is any difference for small businesses versus bigger businesses. So I'll let Spencer go, and then we'll come back to you, Humphrey.
Right. So I'll answer from the social media perspective of how your strategy should change based on the size of your business. So the way I'll approach this one is, let's break 3 different categorizations. Small business, so that's going to be a couple of people, you're a sole proprietor, maybe 3 or 4 employees. Medium-sized businesses, so that's going to be, so not the CRA definition, but let's go between 1 to 100 people. You've got some decent sales, but you're certainly not a known, a household name. And large businesses, so this will be your large brands. You might be in the stock market. So small businesses, what you want to be focusing on is setting the groundwork for how people will interact with your business online. So you're going to be building a community, and you're going to be creating the framework for what it means to sign up for your feed. So what are people getting from that? Are they getting, so they should be getting value, they should be getting return for their time investment.
Right.
So that's how you should be putting some deep thought into what are they getting for that like? What are they getting for their time? And it should be something that you'd want to get to. Keep that in mind. And for small business specifically, you should be focusing on leveraging other people's communities. Remember when I was saying before, if you're making a group, don't let other people come in and take your audience. You should be doing that. So find places that your target audience hangs out and give them value. So don't be that person who's obviously just self-promoting, but go to a subreddit. If you are a nail salon, go to nail salon subreddit. Make a blog post, wait for a couple of weeks so that Google can index it after you post it on your blog, and then post it 2 weeks later onto that subreddit saying, hey, here's a guide on how to do your nails, right? They're going to love that. And then you're going to come back the next week and post another one on what tools you need. And you're just going to keep on posting content. And you know what? These people are going to say, oh, wow, that's that one person again. I hope they come back next week. What's going to happen then is after a couple of weeks of that, they're going to say, oh, who are you anyway? Why do you keep on doing this? That's another link to you. So leverage communities bigger than your own. Take their audience through giving value, and bring them into your tribe. So that's what to be focusing on for small. Medium-sized businesses, now you have the groundwork. You hopefully have a decent following already, so you're in the thousands. What you need to be focusing on now is trying to find something to go viral. So since you have the groundwork there, remember, this is just finding your community, taking it. So you want to find a way to get your content in front of a bunch of people. And you should be focusing on ways to do that. Large companies, it shifts more. You become more on the PR side of things. So what you're looking to do is keep people, keep the name of your brand in a positive light among other people. So focus on what people are saying about you, what they're doing, and find that. Because you don't need to be bringing too many more people in. Like, it's important, but you more want to be focusing on how do people view your company. So that's how we approach on the different tiers of business sizes.
Awesome. I really like that. I really like that it's a different outlook sort of for different businesses on social media. And I see what you're really saying. Like, if you look at, let's take Pepsi Cola, for example, you look at their social media, it's more a lot of almost not crisis management, but like you said, more reputation management. That's exactly what it is. And it's a lot of, just giving out stuff sometimes, and just making sure that everybody's still happy with Pepsi or whatever the product is, right? And for small businesses, it's a little different, especially for if you're still at that point where you're really trying to acquire more audience and you're trying to grow that audience base. Thank you so much for that, Spencer. So Humphrey, on your end of marketing automation, how is it different for small businesses versus larger businesses?
That's actually a very good question, because to me, small business and larger business, the only difference is the amount of salespeople that are in there, right? So for larger businesses, if they have a sales team of 500 people, right, the type of sales automation is very different, right? Then for these large businesses, what they're looking for is they're looking for a way to qualify the leads, right? So by how
No, we're losing him again.
users they got with the social media, they got the
Technology. No way. Let's see if we can rectify that. Humphrey, if you can hear us, please let's start that over, and let's have you come back in again. He's all frozen again. Okay, well, let's move on, kind of like we did last time. Hopefully we can get over these technology issues. Okay, so the other thing that we should be looking at, Daniela, I think it was probably you that mentioned, Humphrey's back.
I noticed one thing is that whenever I speak, I got cut off.
Oh no.
What's up with that?
I know, because what you're saying is so valuable.
I know, right?
So where are we at? I was talking about large businesses, and then for small businesses, it really depends on what kind of service or product do they offer, right? Like if they're a coach, right, then it's really a lot of marketing automation, because they're trying to serve a large area, right, of their audience, right? So you need really different type of automation for a different segment of the audience as well. So yeah, I can't really distinguish between large and small business, but what their needs would be very different.
Awesome. I just want to take a moment to acknowledge everyone that has said hello, that has put a comment on Facebook. I'm trying to really go over everywhere and take a look and see what everyone is saying. I just want to thank you for staying tuned and I can read all the names right now, but thank you so much, guys. Feel free to share this. If you find this information valuable, feel free to share it, and of course apply it in your own business and in your own life. So just thanking all of you guys out there. So moving on now, let's talk about tools that we all should be using where it comes to each of you's expertise. Okay, what tools should we be focusing on? And I think it was Daniela that kind of alluded to that at one point. I'm not sure who it was. What tools are going to be very helpful for us right now, moving forward, and anyone can take it?
I sent you a blog post that we wrote, an article that our content manager, Angela, wrote, because we are actually an online business in the sense of everyone lives in one place, and we're all like working from a home office. And for us, it's not new. We have been doing this for a long time.
You guys have been living in the future for a long time.
We have been living in the future. So for us, for example, some of the tools that we use are Zoom, or obviously we're using it right now, Skype, Slack. We use Slack as well. And then Slack is kind of a mix between WhatsApp and Skype, but it's more like you can create some channels. So you have, for example, if it's a big company with like 500 people, you can create those channels. Like this is the sales team, this is the sales plus that specific product. So you can have like an account, and then you can have those teams. So we have been using Slack for a few years. We love Slack. We talked about Google Calendars to make sure that you don't miss anything. Like we're spending so much time in our computers. People that used to be outside, now they can have a pop-up of a reminder of a meeting that they have. But also some really cool ads. One that reminds you to get up and drink some water. There are some apps that have the Pomodoro feature, which is you can set that up, but like you work for 45 minutes in the computer, and then it just sends you a reminder like, get up now, take a little bit break, take 5 minutes, and then it shows a timer. And then you're like, okay. So because a lot of people are not used to be on the computer so much, it might be a struggle for them. So there are really cool apps to help you navigate and get used to that.
Mm-hmm. So what about you, Spencer? What tools should we be focusing on, with social media right now, or just in general even?
Yeah, for sure. So I find that people often are scared of using Google Sheets and Excel. There is so much information you can get from a simple Google Sheet. Track your numbers, track the growth, make your columns. It's not that difficult. So everyone should be very well acquainted with Google Sheets and measuring the KPIs of what they're looking to do. That's huge, and that's often overlooked. I believe if you can't measure it, you can't improve it. So be using those simple tools and just plugging in the numbers. In terms of tools, I love Zapier. Now this is gonna, Humphrey probably is familiar with this tool.
Yeah.
Automation too. I love that. I love the marketing automation side. So definitely be using tools to make robots do what you could be doing. So make things automatic and do things you wouldn't otherwise do, because you can have a robot do it for free. So, for example, for us, we whenever we get an inbound on our website, someone fills the web form, we have an app that fills that out, makes a Google Sheet row for it, and sends them an email saying, "Hey, I'm a robot. I'll get back. My master will get back to you in 2 days." So something like that. Just make robots do what you otherwise wouldn't, or otherwise takes you time.
That's right.
Separate yourself from what your business does as much as possible, and utilize those to make a more dialed in system.
Yeah, I love Zapier, and I see a lot of zapping between some of the apps that even Daniela mentioned, like just linking them together, because it could be so hard, it could be so time consuming to keep track of all the apps you're using and how you're tracking clients and client engagement and all that, and that kind of ties it together for you, and it's amazing how it works. So let's take it to Humphrey. Don't freeze.
Well, I mentioned this already. I still think Google Analytics, it's really a powerful tool that is very underutilized by a lot of business owners or marketing teams, especially under if you all have Google Analytics, look under behavior. There's the behavior flow. So look through the behavior flow. That's like one tab that most businesses, I would say 80% of businesses don't even bother looking at that. Right? They care about traffic, they care about how many hits, how many page views, but they don't care about how people are flowing through, right? Because in order to create a good automation, in order to replicate what your viewers or what your audiences do, right? You really need to nail down to, hey, what sequences of the pages do people flow through and where they're coming from.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Can I just add one tool that I forgot to mention that it's really important, especially if you are watching this and you're kind of lost in time, you don't know what day of the week it is. Today's Monday. What you can do also is to use, there are 2 apps that are really handy for time management and project management. So we used Trello for a few years, where you can put like a task, and then you put the deadline, and then you can even put it in different groups, like working on it, send for approval, so you can keep track of your work. And we used Trello for a long time, and there is a free version of it, and it's great. And also there is a free version, and it's great. We have been using Asana. It's great as well. The difference between Asana and Trello is that you can control who is seeing. So if you don't want, if you work by yourself, they're kind of the same. But if you don't work, you can actually, as a project manager, like control who is seeing what, so that only people, they don't get overwhelmed and see everything like in Trello. In Asana, you can control, like they see only what you want them to see, and they see only their own tasks. It's really good to keep you organized, focused. Like if you're lost, like what's going on with my team, because you're not with them every day anymore, because everybody's working from their homes. Just have people put their tasks, what they're working on, so that you can visually see without being there with them, and it keeps everyone relaxed and just on track. Yeah.
I actually love Trello for one more thing. I do a lot of brain dumping on Trello. Like a lot of times I feel like, oh, there's so much to do and I'm so overwhelmed. It's kind of like time out. And then I open my Trello and I just start making all the lists. So what are all the things like right now in my brain? What are all the things that are like jamming together? And then I make a whole list, and then I feel relieved after that, because then I can kind of draw an action plan for each one of them. So I really love Trello for that purpose too. So it's a good tool, especially as business owners. There's so much going on so many times, and you're like, I need to get this done and that, and then that, and then So just helping to keep things on track.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I'm just going to mention at this point that there's some of the resources that each speaker has mentioned. For example, Spencer mentioned a particular PowerPoint that has the behaviors of clients, consumer behavior at this time during this crisis. That is going to be available for free download, and we'll be sharing that link towards the end. And then Daniela, you mentioned the blog post and all that. I also have all that link, and then we'll be able to share that towards the end. So you want to stay tuned. And Humphrey has a very wonderful video as well, talking about marketing automation. So these are amazing resources that these wonderful, amazing friends online have been generous enough to share with us, that are very, very helpful in this time of crisis that we find ourselves in. So let's take a last question, guys, before we kind of round up. Let's give people action steps, action plan to what we should all be doing with our marketing right now, as it relates with your different areas of specialization. Who wants to take that away?
I can go ahead first while my internet's still live. I find that nowadays there are a lot of resources, webinars, seminars, especially these days, out there about topics of marketing, how to get better traffic, that type of thing. I feel like the most important action that you should do right now is to look inward. Okay, look back at your whole business process rather than just chasing after all these new shiny objects, right? Look inwards, and then try to determine what works best for your own business, right? This is the time that I should ask you guys to do that, right? Rather than new things. So yeah.
Thank you, Humphrey. Daniela, you were going to say something.
Yeah, so research shows that in the United States, but I'm sure it applies everywhere, around 83% of people, they will look your company, they will check you up online before purchasing from you or before making a decision of buying from you. They look for the recommendations, they look for the testimonials, they look for your website, they look for your social media presence. So my suggestion is, this is the time that if your business maybe has slowed down a little bit, maybe take a look of, revamping your website a little bit, go back to your clients and just ask them, I know that you were happy with my product. Can you write us a testimonial? That would be great. That will mean a lot to us right now. Just reach out to your client to ask them for that recommendation on both Facebook and also Google, and then you can get those and put them in your website. So this is the time for you to look inwards, but also, like Humphrey said, but also look, how do you look online? What is your online presence looking like right now? Do you have time to change it or tweak it or improve it a little bit? Because everybody will come out of this as a new person. You don't want to be the same person that you are right now. So take the time to make some improvements there.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Daniela. Spencer.
Yep. So you're going to get a 3 for 3. Look at what you look like online. So Google your business. What do people see? Because you see what everyone else does. Put your business name in. If you can't find it in that first page, once you Google your business name, well, you got a problem there. Look at your Google reviews. Look at your Google My Business page. Look at your website. Look at how everything looks and say, am I impressed by this? If you're at the point where like, oh no, nobody looks at my website, they're going to look there. Like Daniela said, 83% of the people are going to be checking you out. Do you look good compared to your competitors? So definitely, how do you appear online? Second of all, provide value to your audience. So nurture those relationships. Be talking to them, but don't ask them for their money. give them things and make them waiting on your next piece of advice, your next piece of content. Give them value for their attention, and make sure that you've got your systems dialed in. Are you tracking things? Do you have Google Analytics set up? Do you have your search console set up? Are you looking at what people are interacting with the website for? You need to be measuring things. You need to be nurturing relationships, and you need to be looking good.
You need to be looking good. I like what you said, Spencer, about Googling your own business. I don't think we probably do it often. We need to see what our clients are seeing. We need to experience our clients' experience, if that makes sense. Like, what's my client's experience of my business? So it's a good idea to actually take a look at it. And I love how you guys are able to just compliment one another. Actually, all of us, if you think about it, I make your good photos for your website. Daniela designs your amazing website. And then Spencer just goes on and brings traffic to your website, and Humphrey helps you to nurture the relationship. What an amazing team we make. All right, jokes apart, this has been a very, very wonderful conversation. I don't know about you guys, even I feel like I have learned quite a lot, from just sitting here asking you guys questions and interacting with all the information that you guys are putting out there. So I'm just gonna share the slideshow here for, oh my, look at my desktop. Isn't that wonderful? I hope you guys didn't see that, but there you go. These are the resources that is amazing friends of mine are sharing with us. So Daniela has the 7 best online tools for working from home, which we kind of all need right now, and 5 reasons to hire a digital marketing agency, and the top 5 best platforms available for building websites. And like I mentioned, there's a free download. So if you did register on the Talk to the Experts series website, you will get that link, the link to the download. And if you're viewing this on Facebook Live, or if you're viewing the recorded version on YouTube and you would love to have that free download, you want to make sure that you go to the Talk to the Experts web series website, just register on it so that we have your email address, and then that will be forwarded to you as soon as this is all over. And then Humphrey has a video on marketing automation on Facebook that I think that it would be really cool, that you really want to watch it, because it fully explains what marketing automation is and how that can help you to be nurturing relationships at this time, so that once this is all over, or even as this is going on, there's still a lot of opportunities for businesses as this is going on. You're able to remain top of mind for your clients. Is there anything else you guys would like to share as kind of like parting words?
I just want to say thank you for the initiative. This is amazing. I know that you're doing this with a lot of professionals in different industries, and I love that you're doing this. I'm learning a lot, and I learned today as well. So thank you for having me, and thank you for the series that you're doing. It's amazing.
Thank you, Daniela. Thank you for taking the time. Any parting words from you guys?
Go ahead, Humphrey.
Just want you all to stay safe. We're gonna be in for a long haul. Like we're expecting it. Nothing going to go back to normal until maybe like July-ish. So just stay safe, stay positive, and look within yourself.
Awesome. Thank you, Humphrey.
Yep. So this is pretty unique times we're in right now, and definitely having this series out there, Caroline, it's a great idea. Having these experts come in, and you being the place for people to convene around expert pieces of advice. I think that's fantastic. So thanks for the opportunity to
thank you,
to go ahead and lend my advice and share this panel with everyone.
Thank you guys for taking the time. If you guys weren't here, this is not going to happen. I don't have expertise in your field, so this is amazing that you guys are really taking the time to educate people about what we should be doing right now. The whole idea behind this is, in all of this craziness and all of this madness, that we can sort of find some form of, I don't even know if to call it normalcy, but some form of pathway, some form of action steps of what we can do to find our way in this crisis, and once this is over, to find our way out of it. I'm very excited about tomorrow's conversation, because I feel like it really, really builds on everything we've talked about today. Tomorrow, I'm going to be talking to Ryan Laurie of Steady Studio, and I'm going to be talking to Leon Theron of 6 Degrees Video Production. So that's amazing. We've talked about social media marketing. We've talked about having website and marketing automation. One thing we've not talked about is the content that goes in all of these things. And I feel like that's the round plug in the round hole. How'd they say that again? Whatever. You guys get the point.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, guys, for coming today.
Thank
And
you.
tomorrow at 2 p.m. will be the next in the series, and that will be it for this week. Next week, we're going to be having a lawyer come on, John Dins of Kickstart Law, to talk about everything legal in this time. There's so much going on: employee contracts, employer contract, employee benefits, and all the benefits and everything just going on to just make sense of the legality of all of this and make sure that we're all good, and what are our rights, in all of these things as well. So stay tuned for that. I'm looking forward to all the other conversations. Thanks, guys, again for coming, and I'll see you again.
Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Caroline.
Thanks, Caroline.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Spencer and